It was an event that could be called an incident. My name is Jessica. The day I was about to fill out the marriage registration after having a wedding with my husband, Mike, I came home to find a note from him. It only said, "I'm going to be with your beautiful sister rather than a plain woman like you." I have an older sister named Laura who is 5 years older than me, and Mike, who was supposed to be my husband, eloped with her. Right at the peak of my happiness after the wedding, my sister stole my husband. I ran a small flower shop, but this incident made me throw myself into my work even more. I wanted to forget both my sister Laura and my ex-husband Mike. Day by day, I forgot about the two traitors. When I started to enjoy my daily life, I even thought that Laura and Mike didn't matter anymore. Then, after 12 years, I got a call from Laura and Mike. Mike sneered as he spoke.
"I'm selling your family home to build a new house with my wife. So, you need to take your parents and move out."
I was so shocked that I replied, "Huh? I don't have a parents' house or any parents." Then I heard Mike and Laura's voices from the other side of the phone.
"What?"
I put the phone on the table. From the speakerphone, I could hear Mike and Laura.
"Jessica, why didn't you tell us that your parents had passed away? That's terrible. You're awful."
How dare she says that after stealing my husband? I was too stunned to speak. Laura kept berating me. Mike joined in.
"There must be an inheritance, right? Then the inheritance should be split with Laura."
"That's right, Jessica. Don't hog it all."
After you two eloped, Dad wrote a will. It states that all the inheritance goes to me after they pass away. It's legally binding, so there's nothing you can do about it. And our parents died 5 years ago. Both Dad and Mom were diagnosed with cancer and were undergoing treatment, but they both passed away 5 years ago. Even until the end, they were cursing you for stealing your sister's fiancé after all they did for you, paying for your education and all. Dad wrote the will in tears, saying he wouldn't leave a cent to a terrible woman like you. And since I'm busy with my flower shop, I sold the family land and moved into a new house according to the will. I know this must be upsetting for you, but I'm seeing a sincere man who I plan to marry. He's a lawyer. He's not some goofy guy like Mike. So Laura, thanks for taking such a lousy guy off my hands."
"Wait a minute, Jessica. Since your boyfriend is a lawyer and has money coming in, you should support us. Are you still bitter about losing Mike? That's pathetic. A plain woman like you couldn't possibly get married just because we met in a different order. Mike is still my husband. And a lawyer? No way. Are you delusional? Have you lost your mind? How sad."
"Anyway, since you have money coming in, just give Laura her share of the inheritance. That's the right thing to do. Hogging it all makes you a greedy woman. Marrying Laura was the right choice. She's reasonable, unlike you."
I was furious, trying to justify himself by claiming to be reasonable. I had no idea Mike was like this. We met and dated as adults, but I never saw this side of him. I shot back. "If you're so adamant, why don't you ask Mike's family for something? But I doubt they'll stay silent after your elopement."
"Shut up. I was disowned by my family just for breaking off the engagement with you. It's all your fault. All this suffering is because of you. And our other relatives hate us too. It's really your fault. We found true love and married for real, but no one accepts us. Did you say something to them?
Disowned, hated by relatives? Of course. You had a wedding with me and then married someone else, eloping like that. Being disowned and hated is only natural. How is that my fault? Which one of us is right? Who do you think is correct? Don't blame me.
What? I'm your older sister. You're spreading bad things about me because I got married? You're pathetic. You just wanted to be a bride that badly? But Mike chose me. Who do you think you are, having a wedding just because you're my sister? Mike, listen. This stupid sister of mine once refused to lend me money and told our parents. I was humiliated and scolded. As my sister, my shadow, you should obey me.
You asked me for $30,000, and I told Dad because you took my wallet after I said no. Of course, Dad got mad. $30,000 is a huge amount of money. Do you even get that? And I reported the stolen wallet because it had my credit card, and I was afraid you'd use it. I canceled it quickly, so there was no misuse. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness? Really? I couldn't use your credit card for shopping after that. You humiliated me, and you're glad. Mike, did you hear that? Isn't it awful?
Yeah, a plain woman who can't even lend $30,000. You must have no savings. And besides, you definitely went around talking trash about us. My parents raised me with care, and we had a special bond. But now I'm disowned. You must have spread lies about me. Just confess and apologize already, you filthy, heartless woman.
Mike's parents apologized to me, saying, "We're sorry for the trouble our son caused with his betrayal. We thought we raised him well. But we're sorry for what Jessica went through." Do you understand how they felt? I remember it vividly, even after 12 years. A special bond. Even if you had that, you betrayed it. How is that my fault? Whose heart is truly poor here? Oh, and I still keep in touch with Mike's parents. I used to have contact with Mike's mother, you know? She called me her future daughter-in-law. Even now, Mike's parents are angry, so you're better off staying away from them.
Contact with my mom? So you really did poison their minds against us. This makes me so mad. Laura, let's get to the point.
Right, listening to a childish, narrow-minded woman is unbearable.
So what's the point? I have some free time now, but if a customer comes in, I'll hang up, so make it quick.
A customer? Are you still running that flower shop? You probably don't make any money, right? Can't even tell the difference between work and a hobby, huh? That's hilarious. By the way, I'm pregnant, and we need money.
Oh, I see. So you're calling to ask for money? Just because I forgot to block your number doesn't mean I'm going to help. I'm not congratulating you.
What? So heartless. You're going to be an aunt. No matter what happened with parents, the baby isn't at fault. So give us $10,000 as a baby gift. You should have that much saved up, right? Aren't you happy? You're going to be an aunt. Well, I guess you're just jealous because you can't have kids yourself. By the way, it's a girl, so you can come see her sometimes. Girls are cute but expensive.
What would the niece think if she knew about our situation? I'd hate it. If she found out her mom did something terrible to her aunt, she'd probably rebel.
What matters is the future. So, $10,000 for the baby. And if you want to see her, bring $5,000 each time.
What kind of people are they? Demanding money to see your niece. They're worse than loan sharks. My sister and her husband only see me as a cash cow, they're practically demons. I finally said what I'd always held back. No matter how much I hated them, I couldn't say it. Laura, you've always been like this, right? Acting superior because you're the first grandchild? Did you think I didn't notice Grandpa and Grandma spoiling you? What you're doing is like a demon's work. Let me return the favor for all the things you said to me before you moved out. Ugly, miserable fool who will never be Cinderella. Do you know how much it hurt every time you said that? Of course you don't. You don't care about other people's feelings, right? Do you understand how much you hurt me?
What? Playing the tragic heroine now. You only care about yourself. But it's the truth. Cinderella is beautiful and graceful, but you're ugly, miserable, and foolish. I was just telling you the truth, and you don't even appreciate it, showing how graceless you are.
Your hobby is being sneaky and malicious. That's why you tempted Mike, right? If Mike falls for such a woman, it's good we didn't get married. Good riddance. You stole my erasers, notebooks, bags, and makeup, claiming you were just borrowing them.
Stole? I just borrowed them. Why hold a grudge over that? You're a petty woman.
You never returned anything. How can you call that borrowing? Oh, a customer's here. I have to go.
Wait, the baby gift.
I made an excuse and hung up. Their insults were unbearable. Besides, I'm at home, and my part-timer is handling the customers. I'll go back to the shop later tonight, but I'm not listening to this any longer.
Jessica, what's going on?
As I finished the call with my hateful sister and her husband, my lawyer and partner, Douglas, arrived.
From the sound of it, was that your infamous sister?
Apparently, he'd overheard the conversation. I'm grateful he didn't interrupt. Yeah, something like that.
Are you okay? You don't look well. I heard they ran off after the wedding. Legally, there's not much we can do, but it's despicable.
Thank you for being on my side, but I'm okay. Oh, I made dinner. I'll go to the shop tonight, but you can eat and go to bed first.
You're such a wonderful partner, Jessica. You're so considerate. If it were up to me, I'd teach that Mike a lesson.
Thank you. Douglas, my soon-to-be husband, really cherishes me. That alone made me happy. One day, I was taking a break after finishing the opening tasks at the flower shop, leaving the shop to my part-timer. Of course, I'd return by closing time, but until then, I'd do household chores. Working at the flower shop is physically demanding, so I take breaks as needed. The doorbell rang. Huh? Who could it be? A delivery for Douglas? At that moment, without checking, I carelessly opened the door. Hello, what? A pregnant woman and a man forced their way in, sticking their foot in the door. When I realized who they were, I was stunned. Laura and Mike?
Nice place. Let us live here too. You must have gotten an inheritance from our parents, right? Someone as dumb as you can't handle it alone, so I'll manage it for you.
Laura, look. The sunlight here is great. Have a seat on the couch. You're pregnant, after all.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing barging into my house? Get out. This is my home. Mike and Laura burst into laughter. I was at a loss. With Douglas out, I had to deal with them alone.
You're just my little sister. You're always so uppity. No real talent, but always defying me. Who do you think you are? There aren't many sisters with looks like mine, model quality. You should show some respect. But then again, you can't even tell the difference between work and play, can you?
Right? People have moments of weakness, and you're always whining and crying over the phone, calling Laura a coward. Oh, and we're using this house. So you and your so-called lawyer partner need to leave. If you can't give us the baby gift money, we'll just take the house instead.
I felt a rush of anger. Considering the unhappy childhood caused by this sister, I figured yelling wouldn't be a sin. Sucking up to me to steal my fiancé. You're no longer my sister. You're not even worthy of being called one.
Oh, scary, scary. Mike, did you hear that? This is how she treats her older sister. She's always been like a rabid dog, just yelling and whining. Yeah, always making grand claims, like now, throwing a tantrum because she has no real skills. What an embarrassing sister. Oh wait, she's not my sister anymore. No parents either, so she's an orphan. An orphan.
Laura laughed mockingly. I tried not to fall for her cheap provocations. How did you even find this place? I never told someone like you.
A detective agency. Nowadays, you can find out anything if you say you're looking for a long-lost sister. They'll sympathize and help.
You're living in a fancy house with our inheritance. You're not just greedy, you're downright sneaky. Spreading lies about us and hoarding the inheritance. You're a truly awful woman. I'm glad I didn't marry you.
I couldn't believe Mike, my former fiancé, was saying such things. The man who once said he wanted to marry me was gone. I was hurt, losing everything to my sister. My clothes, my beloved stuffed animals, even my toys, all taken by her. No one ever reprimanded her because she was the first grandchild. Treating me like this, you're not family anymore. I screamed, but Laura just smiled.
What? You're just an add-on to me, not family? I never considered an ugly person like you family. You're just a nuisance.
Right? Crying and whining like a child, thinking it'll solve everything. No, wait, you are a child. A dull woman like you is mentally unstable. You should be in a mental hospital. If you do that, we'll manage your parents' inheritance for you. Now pack up and get out. You're in the way and pathetic.
Awesome. Isn't that harsh, Mike?
What? Talking to a childish person like this is a waste of time. Right, my dear Laura? Come on, pack up and get out. You have 40 seconds. You're nothing but garbage.
My sister and her husband laughed loudly. They were no longer worthy of being called family. We might share blood, but our bond was effectively severed. I was furious at myself for not being able to retort. I thought about it, but all I could manage was a forced response. My head's filled with anger, and I can't find the right words. This is my house, mine and Douglas's. I'll never give it to thieves like you. You barged in here like burglars.
What? We rang the doorbell, didn't we? If you didn't want us in, you should have checked first. Why blame us? How audacious. This is why it's hard dealing with a useless, ugly fool. So, did you prepare the baby gift? You're only good for giving money. Don't make me more uncomfortable. Got it, you useless idiot?
Calling me an idiot, don't you know any other words? You always blamed me for everything, breaking the glass, ruining Grandpa's plant. You have no idea how it feels to be punished for things you didn't do. Your existence disgusts me. Stop bothering me. Don't ruin the happiness I finally found.
Wow, what a tragic heroine. Mike, did you hear that? She's always insulted me since we were kids. Pathetic, miserable, and mean. Fix your own behavior. Where's the baby gift? And just a quick congrats. Can't do anything without being told, slow-witted idiot?
How dare you?
I've heard enough.
Douglas appeared.
What? Who are you?
Hey, who are you?
The couple looked puzzled. Douglas took out his phone and snapped their picture.
What are you doing? That's creepy and weird.
I'm Douglas, a lawyer. I've taken your photo. This is proof of your trespassing. Here's my lawyer badge. It's real, not a fake.
Trespassing? A lawyer?
No way. Trespassing?
I am a lawyer, specializing in compensation claims. Your insults are recorded on this voice recorder. Want to fight me in court? I'm quite skilled, you know. Leave now, or we'll proceed with harassment claims stemming from the abusive language you used towards my wife.
Mike, let's go.
Laura's voice trembled as Mike, his face pale, left first, with Laura following. After they left, tears welled up in my eyes.
Are you okay, Jessica?
Yeah, thank you. I was grateful as Douglas handed me a tissue. But now they know where we live. How will we manage? They might harass us or the shop.
Jessica, I heard everything. Your sister and ex-husband's insults were terrible. Let's file a compensation claim against them. I don't mind having more work if it's for you. I want to live my life with you. You're so lovely when you care for your flowers.
Right. Can we file for compensation and get a restraining order too?
That's a good idea. First, let's write down everything your sister did. Don't worry about dates, just what happened. It might be tough, but I need to know. I'll handle it. Once we're done with this, let's get married.
Okay, thank you. I wrote down everything Laura had done to me, everything she said, and what happened 12 years ago on a blank sheet of paper. It was painful to remember, and I cried many times, but I was determined not to give up. Using that paper, Douglas filed a compensation claim against both of them. Soon after, Laura and Mike showed up at our house again. Through the doorbell camera, I saw them. This time, I wouldn't let them in. What do you want? I said nonchalantly. Luckily, Douglas was there with me. Laura and Mike started shouting through the camera.
Hey, I told you to give us money. Why are you filing for compensation against us? Do you know how much money we need with a baby on the way? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? You're not my sister anymore.
You're just here for money, right? And you said I'm not your sister. My family is dead. Who are you? Don't impersonate my dead sister.
Jessica, that's insane. You're filing for compensation. It's normal to give a baby gift, so why should I pay you? You heartless demon.
I was appalled. Instead of apologizing, they went this far. Douglas stepped in for me.
Do you need something from my wife? You insulted her recently. I could increase the claim amount, you know. And why demand a baby gift before the baby is even born? That's absurd. It's normal to receive a gift after the baby is born. You're practically extorting her. You're terrible people. I'm calling the police.
Wait, the police can't interfere in family matters. This is between Jessica and me. Why call the police? They'd be annoyed.
Shouting at our door is already a nuisance. The neighbors can hear. Jessica, call the police.
Okay.
Hey, you think the police will come? This is just a bluff. That lawyer badge was probably fake too. Stop pretending.
By the way, this camera records everything. You can't deny anything now. Hear that siren? You sure you want to stay?
I just asked for money. Why call the police? Did you bribe them?
Laura, let's go. The police are here.
Douglas and I stood by the door, watching them. The police were talking to Laura and Mike in the yard.
We just came to see my sister. We didn't do anything.
Laura spewed convenient lies to the police. Douglas approached the officers, played the voice recordings, and explained everything.
That's not true.
We were just.
The officers' expression grew stern as they listened to the recordings.
Please come to the police car for a chat.
No, I didn't do anything.
Despite their resistance, Laura and Mike quietly got into the police car. Outside the police car, my husband Douglas was talking to another officer. With the neighbors watching, I felt embarrassed, but also relieved. After that, Douglas and I decided to move, following the police officer's advice. We moved into a bigger family home, a nest for our wish to have children. Fortunately, Laura and Mike didn't know the location of my shop, so there was no trouble there. Every month, I received a substantial amount of compensation from Laura and Mike. Later, I heard through the grapevine that Laura had given birth, so I called Mike.
What do you want? Are you going to reduce the compensation?
Hey, Mike, you work at a company, right? While you're at work, where do you think Laura was?
What are you talking about? Our love is eternal. Unlike you, she had a successful delivery. So how about that baby gift?
Instead of a gift, I have something interesting to tell you. Both you and Laura have blood type A, right?
So what?
Wouldn't it be interesting if the baby's blood type was B?
What? What do you mean? Are you saying Laura cheated?
No, she had an affair. I sent the evidence of the affair to her lover's spouse as well, so expect another compensation claim soon. Good luck raising a child that isn't yours. It's your own fault.
Wait,
I hung up the phone and blocked his number. A detective agency found out that Laura was having an affair. Of course, the other man was married. I also spoke to the man's wife on the phone. From now on, Laura and Mike will descend into their own hell. But I wanted them to walk through the depths of hell forever. After that, I married Douglas. Douglas is the same age as me, so it was a late marriage, but we were happy. I don't have parents, but Douglas's parents adored me. Due to our age, they didn't expect grandchildren, but it wasn't because they disliked me. They said that as long as Douglas and I were happy, that was enough. Douglas has an older brother with 3 children, so there was no pressure on us. Even though both Douglas and I were busy with work, we never grew apart. Sometimes we even took trips to spa resort. Even though I was older, I got pregnant. It was undoubtedly Douglas's child. When our son was born, Douglas and his family were all overjoyed. This was my true life. Oh, and I still receive compensation from Laura and Mike. One day, I turned on the evening news and was shocked. Laura was arrested for assaulting her child. She looked much older on TV. But seeing her like that, I couldn't help but think she deserved it. Bad deeds always come back to you. She never knew that, nor did she try to learn. I am happy now with my son and Douglas. This is how I found my happiness.